Okay, this is problem 10 on the Math 128 final review. And it's a expected value question. So they've got a scenario, a probability scenario, a project graduation, selling raffle tickets. The tickets cost $50 each. Grand prize is $20,000, and there are two consolidation prizes of $500. And the question is, what is the expected value if you purchase one ticket? Well, the way to calculate expected value is to take the probability of each of these events. There's one thing that could happen is you win 20,000. Or there's two ways that you could win 500. But your probability of winning 500 is also 1 in 700. Just like your probability of winning 20,000. It's just that there's two of these. So to multiply the probability of each event by its payback. Okay, so the way this looks for the part A, what is the expected value if you purchase one ticket? You've got a 1 in 700 chance. We're going to multiply that times the $20,000. Okay. Then we're going to add to that the other outcomes. There's another outcome. We have a 1 in 700 chance of winning 500 also. So there's that possibility. And again, there's two of these, so we're going to do this twice. 1 in 700 times 500 again. And if we multiply that out and add all those up, we're gonna find out exactly what this expected value is, and then we'll explain what that means, and that's worth half the points right there. So first of all, let's go ahead and do these calculations. I'm going to go ahead and calculate this out, and this turns out to be, when I take 1/700 times 20,000, I get 28 and 4/7. And then when I take 1/700 and I multiply it by 500, I end up with 5/7. Which makes sense. It'd be 500 over 700, and that simplifies to 5/7. This is also 5/7. And if I add all these up, I got 4/7, 5/7, 5/7. That's 14/7, which is 2, and 28 and the 2 make 30, and that's $30. And that's the answer to part A. What is the expected value if you purchase one ticket? Expected value is $30. Now, explain what the number means. That could be a little tricky, but what does expected value actually mean? It means, what is your expected outcome if you treated this like a game and you played it every day for years. If you played this every day for years with these odds and these paybacks, then you would expect that you would lose about 2/5 of the money you put into it over time. Okay, and that would just be kind of an average. You could do worse, could do far worse, and you could do far better. So the part B, you're going to want to say something like, if you played constantly, and I realize this is a one-time event, but the expected value is what would happen if you did this over and over and over and over, right? What would you expect to end up with in the long run? Then, in the long run, you'd essentially lose SE, you would lose essentially 2/5, $20 for every $50 spent. So you would lose 20. So I mean, you know, if this was a game you could play anytime you wanted, and you just played it all the time, then in the long run, your expectation should be that you're not going to come out ahead. You're going to come out behind. So that's what expected value is. And in something like this, where, you know, this project graduation is obviously doing it as a fundraiser. Most of the people who participate are doing it because they want to contribute to project graduation, and not because they really have an expectation of being a big winner, although they probably are thinking that that it's a good idea. And let me just do some quick calculations here. Project graduation, for their part, if they sell 700 raffle tickets for $50 each, they're making $35,000. They're paying back $20,000 plus another $1,000 here, $2,500. So they're paying back $21,000. And so they should make $14,000. And the house definitely wins in this situation. But really all you have to do to get through this problem is take the probability of winning each of these prizes times the amount of each prize. That will calculate your expected value. When it goes to explain what an expected value means, just remember that if you're doing this over and over and over and over, you know, what would your expected outcome be? Obviously, if you do it once, then your outcome is either you make nothing, you make 500, or you make 20,000. But, you know, more likely it's going to be 0. So that's the explanation for what does this number mean.